Next question to Dr. Bilal Phillips. Next question. We will give the preference to non-Muslim to pose question to Muslim scholar and vice versa.
Okay. Right, can you hear me? I just want to ask, it's a question to either of you really. In Islam, is there the concept that you can only be saved or achieve salvation if you're a Muslim, and the same in Christianity? Can you only be saved or achieve salvation if you're a Christian? And if the answer to either of these is yes, then how do you account for people of different beliefs or no beliefs at all, and what will happen to them? Thank you.
Well, I think from the very beginning, we should understand from the Islamic perspective that all of the prophets of God were Muslims. We don't consider Islam to be the third of the Abrahamic faiths, as it's, or Abrahamic faiths perspective. No, we believe it was all one. Jesus was a Muslim, Moses was a Muslim, Abraham was a Muslim, Adam was a Muslim. The religion of God, as it states quite clearly in the Quran, Inna ad-dina inda Allahi al-Islam. Indeed, the religion in the sight of God is Islam. Islam meaning submission to the will of God. That Adam was commanded to submit his will to God by not eating from the tree. That was the essential principle here. That was the religion of Adam. So for us, we have no problem. People who may have been called Christians but who were true followers of Jesus from the first century, for example, first 2 centuries, first 4 centuries before the Trinitarian concept was forced on the objectors, those would be considered from the Muslim perspective as being Muslims. They may have been looked at as heretical Christians later on or as dissenting Christians earlier on. But from our perspective, James, the brother of Jesus, who led the Jerusalem church, and those who followed him, known also as the Ebionites, their belief was that God was one, Jesus was a prophet of God, and we consider them to be maintaining the original teachings of Jesus, and they are Muslims. So for us, all the prophets, and we believe that, as Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, had said, that over 124,000 prophets were sent to humankind, to every nation and tribe. So wherever these prophets went and people followed them, they became Muslims. They have the right to salvation as all human beings have who follow the teachings of the prophets who were sent to them, originally being, of course, teachings coming from God.
Next question to Dr. John LeMond.
Well, could I answer her question? You asked a question about, yeah, so in many ways I agree very completely. I mean, well, I can't in many ways agree completely, but in many ways I agree with what Dr. Bilal says. And I would say that there is no requirement to be a Christian for salvation. Nowhere in the Christian scripture does it require one to become a Christian. It requires one to be, in a sense, a Muslim, one who submits themselves totally to the will of God. That's really what Jesus came to preach and teach. And so if you're using the word Muslim to mean one who submits themselves completely to the will of God, then that's what really Jesus came to teach. And not to be a Christian. Yeah. And I think it is the same thing Dr. Bilal was saying. you're not taught to be a Muslim. You're taught to submit yourself to the will of God. And my understanding of Christianity is the same way. Yeah, there's no requirement to be a Christian, but to have faith in Jesus Christ as the incarnation of God is something that we believe. Yeah.